Today we're going to redo this part of the wall to make it look like a broken piece from a pirate ship. And because my background is building stuff for escape games, I will obviously add a hidden compartment somewhere in this build. So without further ado, let's start by removing everything from the wall, except for the mirror. The tentacle lamp I built on the previous video is easy enough to remove. The wood that is glued to the walls is also quite easy to remove, I can simply rip it off. These wood pieces are made from EVA foam, by the way, and they were simply a placeholder. We will replace them today with real wood. I started out by cutting some wooden planks to length and fixing them to the wall. I then cut some more planks and glued them together with some tape. This is only temporary. This is only to give me a feel for the shape and the size of the wall. And it's a good thing that I started this way, because towards the end I realized that I did not buy enough wood. I was missing 3 pieces in total, and the leftover piece I had did not fit anywhere, unfortunately. Luckily though, I had a bigger piece of wood that I could simply cut to size. So I marked it in the middle and cut it in half. And it was a perfect fit. It was also just enough to finish the wall, as you can see here. And with all of the wood planks cut to size and taped to the wall, it was finally time to draw on the damage. This wall is supposed to look like a piece of a pirate ship, so I want to add some damage to some of the planks to make it look as if they were ripped off or broken at some part. So I used a pencil to mark where the damage is. For example, in this area it's supposed to look like the tentacle broke through the wood. I also added some damage to some of the planks on the sides of the wall to make it look like some of them broke away. And I also added some damage around the mirror. Once I was happy with all the painted on damage, I removed each of the individual planks one after another and marked on their back where they are supposed to go. This will help massively with the reassembly later on. I then brought all of the planks outside and used a handsaw to cut out the damage that I painted on earlier. I also used a wood file to add some more damage and to round out some of the edges. This whole process took a considerable amount of time, but in the end it was all worth it. I then stained the wood outside to make it look old. This whole process of cutting, sanding and then staining the wood took me in total about 3 days. But as I mentioned before, it was well worth it because the result looked amazing. I then used some nails to fix the stained wood to the wooden planks I installed earlier. And all of the markings on the back helped me to remember where each of the wooden pieces has to go. Before I installed the topmost planks, I painted the area where the hole for the tentacle lamp is black. This will simply add some depth to the whole thing and make it look much better later on. And this is what the wall looks like so far. Now you might be wondering where the hidden compartments are, and don't worry, we will get to that. But first, let's reinstall our tentacle lamp. I will also install this fancy little shelf that we got secondhand on a market. Oh, that looks very nice. I will also drill a little hole right here for the cable for the second lamp. We also got the second lamp from a market. I originally wanted to install this off-the-shelf fire effect light bulb, but I only had access to a 12-volt power supply. that wouldn't work with the light bulb. So I simply disassembled and gutted the original light bulb, and I added a Arduino inside. I then hooked the Arduino up to some individually addressable LEDs, programmed the whole thing, and then put it all back together. And just like that, I had a fire effect light bulb that works with 12 volts. Next, I wanted to add some smaller details like coral that was growing on the wood. So I used my resin 3D printer to print some corals, wash them, put them into the curing station, and then paint them. I first applied a dark blue primer, and then I used my airbrush to apply some effect paint. This is a pearly effect paint that shimmers when it is hit by light. And finally I painted on some white details with a brush. And this is what the corals look like after painting them. I finally glued them together, and then I glued them into place using some hot glue. The last thing that was left to do is add the secret compartment. I will start by removing 2 of the planks that I did not hammer to the wall. I will drill a hole to the planks in the back and add a magnet to that. I then added a metal spacer to the corresponding plank. I took some measurements of the compartment and then designed a little box that would fit inside there. I used some MDF wood and my laser cutter to cut out the template for the box. And lucky for me, the box fit in perfectly. I then used some brown acrylic paints to paint the backside of the planks and to paint the compartment itself. Finally, I added some finishing touches and put all of the decoration back into place. And here is the final result.